Few could have predicted that one of the world's most commanding operatic voices would emerge from a teenager who once struggled to speak up at all. In today's report, we take a closer look at Jonathan Antoine's remarkable rise, a story that begins far from the spotlight. Growing up in Essex, Antoine was known not for confidence, but for a quiet demeanor that often kept him in the background. Teachers and classmates recall a student with clear musical talent, yet unsure of how to share it. His early vocal training revealed potential, but even those closest to him could not anticipate just how powerful his voice would become once fully developed. What makes his journey so compelling is the contrast between his internal battles and the gift he carried. As he progressed through school, his instructors encouraged him to step forward, shaping his technique and helping him build the foundation that would later support a global career. And although local performances gave him modest recognition, the broader public remained unaware of the extraordinary transformation underway. What would happen next would not only change his life, but also permanently shift the expectations of what a young opera singer could achieve. Transition, and that turning point arrived sooner and more dramatically than anyone expected. When Jonathan Antoine walked on stage in 2012, few in the audience realized they were moments away from witnessing one of the most discussed auditions in the show's history. As our coverage continues, we revisit the moment that launched Jonathan into international conversation, his Britain's Got Talent audition alongside Charlotte Jaconelli. The duo appeared modest, unassuming, and hardly the type viewers expected to deliver an operatic performance. Yet within seconds of singing, the tone of the room changed. Judges who began the audition with skepticism quickly shifted to astonishment, with reactions that became viral moments in their own right. Media outlets across Europe replayed the clip, noting the intensity and maturity in Jonathan's tone despite his young age. While the pair ultimately finished in second place that season, industry experts agree the competition served as far more than a talent showcase. It became a springboard, amplifying Jonathan's reach beyond national borders and drawing the attention of major record labels. The aftermath of that audition solidified him as a rising figure in classical crossover music and set the stage for rapid developments behind the scenes. Transition, but chart success wasn't the only twist waiting for him after the show. Jonathan may not have won the trophy, but what happened after the finale surprised even industry insiders. Despite finishing second on BGT, the commercial response was immediate. Reports soon confirmed that the duo had secured a major recording contract, marking a significant milestone for two newly minted performers still adjusting to their sudden visibility. Their first album together entered the charts with notable momentum, signaling that audience enthusiasm had not faded after the broadcast ended. This rapid ascent placed Jonathan at the center of public attention, with media describing him as one of the most promising young classical voices of the decade. Yet even with this wave of success, a larger shift was brewing. As both artists matured, their musical paths began to diverge, making questions about the duo's future increasingly frequent in interviews and press updates. Behind the polished performances and promotional events, it became clear that Jonathan's artistic vision was expanding in a direction that would soon require a bold step. Transition, and that step would redefine his career once more. The announcement came as a surprise. After two highly successful albums, the duo that rose together would now continue separately. When news broke in 2014 that Jonathan Antoine and Charlotte Jaconelli would pursue individual careers, reactions ranged from curiosity to concern. The pair had achieved remarkable success in a short period, prompting many to wonder why they would choose separate paths so early. However, statements from both sides emphasized a mutual decision driven by evolving artistic goals rather than conflict. For Jonathan, this marked the beginning of a new and uncertain chapter. Transitioning from a familiar partnership to the responsibilities of a solo career required renewed confidence and an entirely different form of public presence. His first solo release, Tenor, offered a clearer look at his personal style, rich, disciplined, and emotionally grounded. Critics noted the maturity in his delivery, crediting the album with establishing him as a standalone figure rather than one half of a duo. Transition, but this milestone was only the start of his artistic expansion. Jonathan's solo era didn't just continue his trajectory, it widened it dramatically. As he developed his repertoire, Jonathan moved beyond expectations set by his earlier work. His performances exhibited greater range, exploring classical arias as well as contemporary crossover arrangements. Releases like Believe expanded his audience and reaffirmed his ability to connect across genres. International invitations soon followed, placing him on stages shared with major orchestras and celebrated conductors. News outlets began noting his global appeal, highlighting not only his technical precision, but also his relatable presence, which stood out in a traditionally formal genre. His growing catalog demonstrated both discipline and creative curiosity, positioning him as a modern artist capable of bridging classical tradition with mainstream interest. Transition. Yet even with professional success, the personal story running alongside it was equally significant. What viewers celebrated publicly, Jonathan was still learning to manage privately. From a reporter's standpoint, Jonathan's journey illustrates the often unseen tension between rising fame and personal development. Throughout his early years in the industry, he navigated pressure that would challenge even seasoned performers. Interviews reflect his ongoing efforts to build confidence and adapt to public scrutiny, a stark contrast to the quiet student he once was. These experiences shaped his sense of identity as much as vocal training shaped his technique. The balance between expectation and authenticity became a defining theme in his career, influencing how he chose projects and how he presented himself to fans. In many respects, Jonathan's evolution was not only musical but deeply human, demonstrating resilience in the face of rapid life changes. Transition, and that resilience played a crucial role in what came next. In a field where many fade after brief exposure, Jonathan chose a different path. Industry analysts note that Jonathan's longevity comes from strategic adaptability. While maintaining his classical roots, he embraced modern production styles, seasonal projects, and cross-genre collaborations. This approach broadened his demographic reach and prevented the stagnation that often challenges young classical artists. His ability to evolve without compromising artistic integrity has kept him relevant in an increasingly competitive landscape. Furthermore, his relationship with fans, built on openness and sincerity, reinforced his standing as a trusted and admired public figure. Each project added a new dimension to his career, proving that his rise was not a momentary phenomenon, but the foundation of a lasting presence. Transition, which leads us to the final chapter of today's report. Jonathan Antoine's story isn't finished, it's entering its next movement. As we conclude this report, it's clear that Jonathan's career demonstrates a rare blend of talent, perseverance, and long-term vision. From a teenager overcoming shyness to a global opera figure commanding international stages, his path represents a modern blueprint for success in classical performance. While his achievements thus far are significant, ongoing projects, expanding audiences, and continued artistic development suggest that his most defining work may still lie ahead. The narrative surrounding Jonathan Antoine remains one of progress, growth, and unexpected evolution, a story that continues to unfold in real time.